up, YouTube? So I'm gonna get straight to it. So let me go back to my story. So I've been doing video for the past 15, 20 years, right? You know, I'm in my 40s, so I've been doing everything from music videos, photo shoots, real estate, weddings, you know, everything. I do all kinds of shoots. So I started off, I was a Nikon shooter, okay? So my first camera was a Nikon 51D. So all my people out there that are shooters, you know what I'm talking about. The Nikon 51D. That was my first camera. I loved it. It took, at the time, I thought it took great photos, amazing photos, you know. It was an APS-C camera. It was great. You know, some of the photos I took from it are amazing. I did some model shoots with it, and you know, I didn't know about Canon yet. I knew about Canon, but I didn't want to get in that ecosystem yet, okay? So fast forward, today I'm with Canon. So I had the Canon R6. That's where I just came from. I had the Canon R6, and I hated it. And I'm not sure if I had a bad version, but I had came from a Sony A7 IV, believe it or not, and I went to Canon because I thought Canon, you know, the color science, you know, everything would be better, you know, it's a better system. That's what I thought at first, you know. So I sold my A7 IV, worst mistake of my life. I sold my lenses. I had the 85mm, 24-70. I didn't have the G Master. I just had the regular 24-70. I had the 55 Zeiss, and I had the I want to say I had a 24. I like my primes. I sold all my lenses, and you know, whenever you switch camera systems, you lose a lot of money. It get very expensive with switching camera system. So I switched my camera system. I switched over to Canon, and it led me to the R6. You know, Mark II is out now, so at the time, I guess you would call it R6 Mark I. So I had the R6 Mark I, and it was terrible. 20 megapixels. You know, they say you don't need a lot of megapixels. You know, I had my camera, the A7 IV had 33 megapixels, so I'm used to cropping in. So sometimes when I take a photo, I like to refocus it and reframe the photo. So immediately the first thing I seen was this grain. I don't know what you call it. It's some kind of pixelated color grain that was in all my photos. And I read articles on it saying I ain't have enough light. So I started buying things for my Canon. I bought a flash, nice flash. I bought the fusion on the front of it, you know, nice dome. Some of the photos okay, but some photos did some photos of the kids, and it was terrible. It was terrible. I did a birthday party, and man, those photos were so grainy. When I tried to crop in, you know, 20 megapixels, I tried to crop in, the photos just was terrible. It's horrible. So I was like, I gotta get the hell out of this camera. But I'm so far deep into the Canon ecosystem. I done bought an EF to RF adapter because I had the Sigma 24-70 art lens 2.8. I didn't want to sell that. It's gonna be a huge money loss. I had the 85mm f2. I have the 35mm 1.8. I had the 50mm 1.8, and I had the 24mm 2.8. So I got a couple Canon lenses right now, and the only thing I'm missing for my kit is I'm missing the 70-200, and I want that lens. And I want an EF. I don't really want an R because I have the mica drop-in adapter, so I can control the neutral density filter. I have the variable neutral density filter that goes actually on the adapter, so I don't have to put a filter in front of the lens, you know. So I actually want EF lenses. So it was a situation I was unhappy with R6, very unhappy. R6 Mark II is out. The R5 is out, and other option was switching brands. I didn't want to switch brands, So I didn't switch brands. I stuck with Canon, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Canon one more shot. So I did a photo shoot at a club. It was a nightclub birthday party. I did a photo shoot for that, and the picture was great. You know, I had a couple pictures, came out pretty good. Best picture so far, but I took over 500 shots, and out of 500 shots, only like one photo. Red flag, right? So I was like, you know what? I gotta get off this camera, because the R5 is already the R6 Mark II that's out that I haven't got, and also it's R5 that I'm interested in. And it was the R5 Mark II coming out soon. So I was like, you know, I thought about it, you know, like a lot of you probably thought about switching over to Sony, switching back to Sony, getting the FX3, but guess what? FX3, 12 megapixel. I don't want to do photos on the 12 megapixel camera. That's all I can say. And I thought about one time buying two cameras, because, you know, Blackmagic had a sale on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K full frame. You know, in Blackmagic, you got used to their name, Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K full frame. So I was thinking about buying that and buying a R6 Mark II. I was gonna buy both, because both cameras together would equal the price of one R5 Mark II. But I don't know. I waited too long. I decided against it, and I waited until the sale was over. So sale got over, so I'm stuck with no camera, because, oh, I forgot to tell you, I sold my camera. So I sent my camera into Adorama.com. I bought all my gear from Adorama, great company. Customer service is amazing. I use B&H also, great company as well. I bought the Sony A7 IV from B&H, but I decided to go to Adorama. So I sent them my R6 Mark I. They gave me $1,600 for it, and it was in great condition. Low shutter count, under 5,000 shutter count on the camera. You know, because I do a lot of video work. I do more video work than I do photography work, but I still want the photography side of the camera, right? So they had a sale on the R5. Now, amazing. Think about it. R5 was an awesome camera. When the R5 came out, I was like, that's the camera I want, because I do want to get into doing VR recording, and Canon really got VR wrapped up. I think Blackmagic came out with a new 12K immersed camera, but I'm not going to be able to get that. That's not going to happen. So I was like, I need to stay in Canon ecosystem, because I want to do VR. I want to do VR. I want to record VR. I want to edit VR. So it's no use me switching, because Nikon came out with the Z6 Mark III, and that's a partial stack sensor. I mean, the dynamic range is terrible, but I mean, who cares? You got to put a polarized lens filter on the front, no issues. So I thought about the Nikon Z6 Mark III, and I was like, man, you know, Nikon was my first love, and I wanted to go back to Nikon. I thought about it, man, I don't want to leave the ecosystem, because I want to do VR. So I'm stuck. I have nowhere to go. I'm stuck with a R6 that I sold. So I don't want to get the R6 II, because one, it's line skip, and there's no, it's trash. I rented one. I advise everybody, if you want to get a camera, rent it first. And I rent my camera from Aperture, I think the name of it here. But you got borrow lenses. Rent it. You know, pay the $150. It's better than a restocking fee, and at least you can get the camera and try it out. So I would say, anybody, if you want to know a camera before you buy it, rent it. So I rented the R6 Mark II, because the R6 Mark II went on sale for $19.99. I think it's still on sale for $19.99, but I didn't buy it. I rented it first. I got all my lenses. I got the, you know, the Sigma 24-70. I took some photos. It had the new AI autofocus. Amazing camera. The R6 Mark II, if you do photos and you don't do a lot of video, get the R6 Mark II. You're going to love it. It got AI features for dummies. I call it for dummies because AI Plus, and literally have kids on it. It had food on it. So if you're taking photos of food, you know, you want it light, bright, you know, it does that. It had photos for group where you can just go in with AI Plus, set it to group, and everybody's in focus. So the R6 Mark II is a hell of a photography camera. If I focus only on photography, get the R6 Mark II. That's my opinion. If you do photography a lot, you use some video, get the R6 Mark II. You won't be upset with it. You know, it's a great photography camera. It's just the video feature is not there, I'll be honest with you. You know, they don't have ProRes. I want ProRes, but you know what? So what ProRes? You got the X, what do you call it? X AVC? But they don't have that on the R6 Mark II, so don't worry about it. So I'm watching, waiting for the R5 Mark II to come out. So I'm watching The Ordinary Filmmaker, I think his name is, on YouTube. And he gave me the link. So he said July 17th. Now, remind you, I got another video shoot coming up that I had to cancel because I don't have a camera. I sold my R6. And guess what? I'm glad I did, because the last video shoot I did with R6, I didn't like it. And the way I am, if I don't like the footage, I don't want to do it. Like I don't want to do it. I don't want to do work that I'm not happy with, because I'm a perfectionist like that. So if I don't like the quality, I'm not going to do it. Period. Right? So I waited. I waited. I even bought gift cards to Adorama, so I wouldn't spend the money. So I bought gift cards, so I'll be forced to buy something for Adorama, and I can't use the money for anything else. So I got about $3,000 in Adorama credit. And I'm like, okay, the R6 Mark II, they told me it's gonna be $3,999. Okay, another $1,000, you know, but it's the camera of my dreams. You know, I don't have to upgrade. Let me tell you the benefit. If you get the camera you want, like they said, buy it nice or buy it twice, you know? So rewind a little bit. I bought the R1. Just so you know, I bought the Canon R5 Mark I, or just the Canon R5. I bought it. I had it in my hand because it was on sale for $2,899. And no, it wasn't it. Let me tell you something. This was before I rented the R6 Mark II. And when I bought the Canon R1, or the Canon R5, right? I bought the Canon R5. I had it. That it had the CFexpress Type B, and it came free with the camera. Awesome camera. All I'm saying is awesome camera. When you can get it to focus. Now, do it focus all the time? No. I try to focus on my dog. The nose is in focus. The eye's not in focus. Or the eye's in focus. The nose not in focus. And I'm like, man, this focus system is cool, but it's not the best. Because, you know, I see reviews from the R6 autofocus. And I'm thinking like, R6 autofocus is AI. So it's awesome, you know. But the regular R5 Mark I, that autofocus, it's not all that. So I wasn't happy with it. And then the files were super large, and it took so long for me to open it. I'm still working on my MacBook 2019 i9 spec'd out MacBook Pro. It's time to upgrade to the M series. I said I'm gonna wait till I get my camera first, then I'm gonna upgrade. You know, so I'm gonna do that next. I'm going with the Mac Studio. That's what I'm going with. Trying to wait till they see if they put the M3 or the M4 in it, because right now they still got the M2 chip in it. I don't want that, so I'm being patient. So I had the R1. The camera got hot. When I say hot, the memory card was so hot when I took it out the camera. It was hot to touch. And when I put it into the CFexpress Type B memory card reader, the reader got so hot, it was burning. Like, you put your hand on it, it's burn your hand. That's how hot it got. And I thought that, you know, I didn't pay $2,800, basically $3,000 for this camera. So what I did is I went to Adorama, I put in trade-in, and how much would I get if I traded this camera in like new condition? I just bought it. It told me $1,800. If I traded in open box, $1,800. Now think about it. Why would I buy a camera for $3,000? As time I get it, I don't like it. I know I can send it back. But say for instance, you go past the window and you need to trade it in. Why would I buy a camera for $3,000 that right now I only can get for $1,800? So I sent the camera back fast. It got so hot, I thought something was wrong with it. And then I had to call Canon. And when I got on the phone with Canon, they said that's just how the camera operate. It still had the 30-minute record window, which not going to work for weddings and receptions and corporate events where you got to record straight. I had the whole, you know, I had a speaking engagement that I was recording. And this lady, she was talking for about a good hour and a half. And that little gap, she was not happy with it. And I was trying to cover it with a different camera and cut. It was not fun. So I want a camera that I can record straight. No matter my memory card I got in it, I can record the full time, no gap, no spaces or anything, right? So I had the R5 Mark I. I sent it back. I gave my money back and I've been sitting on it ever since. So on July 17th, I was up 5 a.m. I'm in Eastern. I'm in Atlanta, so you know. So East Coast time, 5 a.m. in the morning, I wake up, I set my alarm. I wake up, I'm waiting for the camera to drop. And the camera dropped, and guess what? I tried to use C-Log 3 in the R1. It was terrible, it was trash. Also, I used C-Log 3 in the Canon R6 Mark II that I rented. I tried it, right? It was trash too. So it's good to know that Canon now have the C-Log 2 and the R5 Mark II. That's excellent. And also they have a thing called Canon 709. Awesome. Like you don't want to do color grading, put it in Canon 709. You ain't got to color grade anything. It's perfect. Got the camera, drop the lid on, it's done. And I was thinking about the R5C, and let me tell you something. The only thing that took me away from the R5C is because with R5C, it doesn't have in-body image stabilization, and it don't have the new autofocus. It just doesn't, you know. So I'll be still dealing with the same autofocus, similar to what I had to the R5, but I guess they do a face autofocus. I don't want that. So I really want to see what the R5 Mark II was talking about, and I'm glad I did. I ordered the camera. I got it on pre-order. I'm still waiting. Today is the July 20th, and I'm waiting for it to come out. And even right now, I'm thinking about, should I cancel the order? You know, should I cancel the order? I can get two R6 Mark IIs right now for the price, for cheaper than one R5 Mark II. Think about that. I can get two cameras for the price of one. Yet, I would get an R6 Mark II. I already rented it, didn't like it. And when I give my product to clients, I'm big on quality. So why would I buy something less than to do the job? You know, I would have switched to Panasonic if I wanted that. You know, if you just want a camera to do the job, that S5 IIX, great camera. You get one for $1,600. Get two of them for $3,000. But I do photography, and it's 24 megapixel, and I need more than 24 megapixels. And I looked at the Sony R5, and I don't want that. I shot Sony. Been there, done that, didn't like it. So right now, we're waiting on the Canon R5 Mark II. I'm just getting some specs on it, okay? So the Canon R5 Mark II. Canon R5 Mark II, okay? This camera is packed, cutting edge technology. It got a new DIGIC accelerating chip in it. So when you do the autofocus now, it's AI. It knows where you're going. So if somebody playing basketball, volleyball, baseball, it can tell where the person is going, and it locks onto that person and it don't get off. Okay, I'm telling you, on a regular R5, you're gonna lose focus every time. Even on the R6 Mark II is better at autofocus, but I know I was shooting on an R6, the first R6, and I'll be taking a picture. I'm looking at the people, and it's now I'm focused on the glass on the table. Terrible. I hated it. And when you have to sit there and tell people, hey, one more shot, hey, stay right there, one more shot. I'm trying to back focus, autofocus. I'm trying to touch the screen. The only thing that works is when you touch, but that's taken away from my shot. Guess what? The Canon R5 Mark II has eye autofocus. Mark II is better than what it was in the R3. It's for the it's eye autofocus second edition, but for everything I'm seeing, all the reviews, it's better. So I can't wait to use that. And when I get the camera, I'll do an unboxing for you all and give you some reviews, okay? So, you know, it's a great photography camera. Of course, it's still a 45 megapixel, the Canon R5 Mark II, but it's backside illuminated. That means when you're shooting at night, it's gonna be similar to Sony. I'm not sure if you ever saw Sony. I had a Sony a7 IV, and I never worry about ISO. I don't care. I don't care. I'll buy f4 lens because I can crank the ISO all the way up and the image is gonna look good, no grain. So this backside illuminated 45 megapixel sensor, amazing, amazing. Okay, is I really think it's gonna be an awesome camera. And then it do the phase registration where you can take a picture beforehand and say, I want you to focus on these people, or I want you not to focus on these people. And the camera is so smart, it'll do it. So when you talk about a camera that's gonna save you time, save you hassle, and when you take a photos, spot on autofocus, you want the R5 Mark II. I mean, it's more money. They raised the price up because they know they had something. They put the C Log 2 in it, you know, and they knew they had something. You know, the only thing could be different, they put 32-bit float inside of it. You know, they did 32-bit float inside of it, that'll be different. Right now, I'm recording this here on the Tascam RD10L Pro. I'll show you that. I just got this. I'm trying it out. Let me see. Yeah, I'm using my phone because I sold my camera, okay? So I'm using my phone right now. But the Tascam, so this is the audio off this. I'm trying it out, see how it works, okay? So I didn't want to go too long. Just tell you that the R5 Mark II is out. Picture right there. Get this camera. If you're a photographer and you're trying to go to the next level, I would say if you can afford it, get it. If you can't, if you're a photographer, I would get the R6 Mark II before I get the R5. I just would. Because you can get the R6 Mark II and then get you a 70 to 200 and you fine. Because remember, only time you need more megapixel when you have to crop in or you need to blow up. So 24 megapixel is enough. And if you got reach on your lens, you won't have to reframe it. Just shoot it from the lens. That's why I said if you got the 70-200 with that R6 Mark II, you're fine. You're good. I think you'll be straight. I think you'll be very happy. If you did photography, mostly R6 Mark II all day. If you did videography only, switch over to Panasonic. Get the Panasonic, like I said, the Panasonic, was it S5 IIX, or you can get the Canon R5C, but remember the R5C battery life is terrible. So you're gonna need a V-mount. You're gonna definitely need a V-mount battery with that one, okay? So, I could have got the R5C. I think you got it on sale right now for $3,200 used, or $3,600 new, or $3,500 new. But if I got paid $3,500 new, plus I got to buy a V-mount, and I have to rig it up, so that's another $300, $400. Why just not pay the extra and get the R6 Mark II? That's what I thought. All right, well, hey man, welcome to Cyber Central. I'm your host, Nathan Cyber. Just give you some tips on the R5 Mark II. I wish you the best.